Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Indiana Farm Boy. Today we are working on a gravel lane. It's I think about 1,300 feet or a quarter mile or something like that. Got the bucket on here, about to switch over. Got on the blade this morning. Did a little bit of just trying to see what we had to work with. First, I've been kind of peeling off some of the dirt and stuff like that. Got a pile of dirt and stuff, junk that I don't want on the drive, so I'm gonna get the bucket so we can move that. So I will, when I get down there, I'll walk around and show you guys what is going on. All right, guys, let me explain what's going on here. So I just got down here with the blade. As you saw up there, I had it in the driveway. I just kind of peeled off some of the grass and off the top of this ridge that has been created from the crown, the old crown, and I kind of peeled it all off, pushed it down here to the bottom. See, there's some dirt right in there that still needs to come off. That's just over the years of dirt built up. And so then I pushed it all down here. I did the same thing on the other side, and I got a pile of grass down here that I'm carrying down the drive to another spot just for now, because I don't know what exactly we're going to do with the extra dirt here. But I just got this started to clean this up. Get out here, show you. So the idea here is the driveway is lower than all around surrounding, except for a couple spots. So the idea here is there's holes all down in here. This all needs to come up so that it's higher than the grass, so it drains. So it's going to need a lot of stone. So is this up here. But the idea here is going to probably be to kind of try to notch the hill right there with the blade, cause it to drain off the corner, so then the rest of the drive is smooth, so it comes down through here. Probably build a water bar to force it, and we may force it across right here. Build a water bar right here, force it over here. That's another option. We'll just have to see. Probably like somewhere about in here, building basically a dam to force the water off the drive and down here. Then this has all got to be crowned, and yes, you can see I've already started to crown. I'm starting to cut these edges down some. It's where some of the grass came from too. I want to cut these edges down and cause it to run off. So I got to keep doing that through here. I can't cut too much down through here though, because it's just going to have to be built up with gravel that I have, spare gravel. I'm going to pick up this rock right here while I'm standing here. This dang rock has been in my way the whole time. I'm going to throw it down there in that ravine, the riprap. So, yeah, we got that started. This hill over here, same idea. We're going to build a water bar for all the water that's coming down here. Then we're also going to probably slope the whole drive to this corner. So a lot of the water wants to get over there anyway. Because I don't think having a crown in it is really benefiting anything, because all it does is force it down each side where the wheel tracks are. So I think sloping the whole drive like this to this corner and then forcing it off the road down here to keep so much water. See, what happens is all this water is going down there and sitting and then flooding over the sides of the drive when it gets tall enough. So the drive all needs to come up down there. It needs to come up really everywhere. The whole drive is below the grass level on the sides. Now, as you can see, the water is flowing off here, and this is not going in. So the water naturally wants to go this way. So ideally, really, you would want to build this thing up all the way above that grass line, so then the water just keeps going. But that's not how this driveway was put in here. They just cut it in. And because of that, the amount of gravel that it would take would be an extraordinary amount. So we are going to do the best we can with what we got, and also be efficient with the gravel. I got 12 loads of gravel coming tomorrow. They're starting tomorrow. So today is all prep day. Get as much stuff done as we can here. We gotta push all of this, get all this grass cleaned up here. Then we'll probably put the blade back on, or I might try with the bucket a little bit to scoop up as much of this. See, there's gravel all the way out here where the drive used to be, all the way out. So, you know, we can shear this all down some. Now there is a telephone line somewhere, So I don't want to get too aggressive because I don't know where exactly it is. I don't have 811 marked this because I didn't plan on cutting too much, because I want them to, we need to fill it up more than cut it down. So I just want to get the grass out of here though, and the dirt off the drive before we get the new gravel, so that there's not grass just growing here. So I'm gonna get started on cleaning on this grass. All right guys, I got the grass strip off the edges a little bit with the bucket, carried all the dirt, gravel, grass out of here. Now it's time to try to cut with the blade here. Looks like I finally rubbed some paint off my blade on this side. I will use this side a lot for cutting because the way it is. So I cut into the ground with that, but this rolls all the material because I'm going to cut this side. So I'm going to set you up, hopefully right here, so you guys can walk. if you guys can see, but I got pretty much flat across there. So what I'll do, now that I got it kind of somewhere to base to start, I got to trim this down. I'm a little worried that the telephone line is over here, but you can see the gravel in this dirt. It's over here. The gravel's, this was all drive at one point, all the way over here. So I want to keep cutting this down. I don't see a phone line right here. I think I'm all right to cut this all down some. I want to cut this down to about here so that when I can force this water off. Now I'm got this kind of level, which is all right, but I really want to get it more like this. I think that hill over there, I think as good as I can get it with what material I have. Like I said, I might need the first load just to try to get my base straightened out versus spreading it, but there's a lot more drive up there still yet to go. So we're just trying to do section by section by section here. It was for building pads. So now I'm just gonna kind of push this dirt in here, and I'm gonna try to leave it a little high, try to pack it in there and back drag it. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and push it past it. But I wanna kind of leave it a little thick in here because all these holes, and when they come with the truck, I will get them to drive up and down the driveway first. With his first load, I'll make him drive up and down the driveway a bunch, and he'll pack all this loose, sandy, loose dirt, or loose gravel in. Sorry, excuse my language, man. Speak and say the word there. So yeah, I just need to start packing, bringing this stuff. Now I need to row this stuff to the center here, so I'm just gonna head. And now what I gotta do is, this thing does a tilt thing with the wheel, and then you hold a button to get it to rotate. So I need it to, and see now, I can't keep that material from rolling off the edge. So you kind of got to drive like that to try to get it to keep from rolling off these sides. So that's why I want the wing, so I can keep that stuff from happening. Oh man, must be a rock. Yep, of course a rock. I tell you what though, these rocks, man, there's some big rocks in this drive. I'd say someone put them in there a long time ago, but gosh dang, do they make it rough on the tracks when you go across them and you don't see them. Man, it just beats the living crap out of you in this little skid steer. Nothing against the skid steer, it's not the skid steer's fault, it's just the fact that when you have such a big rock and you're on such a hard surface, there's nowhere for, you either got to break the rock, and with the rubber tracks, they don't break rocks. I mean, that's not what they're designed to do. They're designed to be soft impact, so it's not like a dozer where you can cut that. So now I'm gonna carefully, when I go this way, I gotta be very careful because I got hydraulic lines over here that it will hit them if you're not careful. So, which I don't know if I like that. I mean, obviously I want as much tilt in both directions, but if I can't really use it, what's the point in having it? But it still works, I think. It's just sometimes you got to be really careful that you don't hit your hydraulic lines. So now I'm just kind of, and I know this stuff's kind of dirty. You guys probably can't see. I need to find you a better spot to mount in the cab here. Let me see what I can come up with here when I come back. I'll try to grab stuff at the house to try to mount you guys out there, maybe on the blade or something, if I can find a way to mount you. So, but right now I'm just kind of filling in as much with what material I have here at the bottom of this hill. Hey guys, just got back. I'm gonna scrape this down, fill the holes in that I can with what the gravel is out here by the road, and then that way I can build this back up with new gravel. But I want to use some of this gravel to fill in all the holes before we get new gravel. So I also got to call the gravel guy, figure out what time tomorrow they're going to be able to bring me gravel. So I'm going to work on this and I'll get back with you. All right guys, well, lots changed. I had a bunch of phone calls, so I wasn't able to record, but as you can see, there's still a little bit of a pothole right here. I don't know if it's hard to see on camera, but it looks super wide, but that's just because I had to cut down these edges so far. So you can see I stopped about there. I'll have time tomorrow between trucks. They got about an hour round trip, and it sounds like I'll have 1 or 2 trucks. I'm not sure how many, but I got this all cut down, and I'm putting it down about 4 inches of gravel approximately across this whole across the whole drive I'm putting about 4 inches down, so we shall see how many spots we need more here. I quoted about 12 loads. I think we may need more, to be honest. Just given how much there is here to do. It's gonna go by fast, putting down 4 inches thick. Plus there's spots, as I walk out of this drive, you'll see here, as I get down through here. Now see, there's some ridges that are built up, but that's all right. There's no way to get that away from the edge there. I mean, that's probably 6 inches deep. Same on this side. So if I want to bring this up to grade, I'm gonna need to bring in 6 inches right just in this area, at least. So, but we'll probably start at the front up there, start coming back this way, so that way I have a little bit more time to mess with what I gotta mess with here. And it's really pretty much there. I like it to be perfect before I put down the gravel, because it's easier to work with this subgrade material to get it close and then finesse it with the new stone that's coming in. Problem with the new stone a lot of times is it's easy to cut too much or too little out of the stone, because it's hard to gauge how much you're cutting. Where this stuff, if you cut too much, too little, it's a little easier because it's harder material. It's not all soft, fresh, quarry stone. So you want to get the subgrade as good as you can, and we still may use maybe 1 or 2 of the first 2 loads before we start spreading, just to put piles so that I can add material like on this hill. And then also I got to build a big water bar. It's going to go right here, shoot the water off this drive right over here. So all this water that's coming down this drive is going to go off into the ditch on that side. And this has all got a crown in it already. Water's going to go off either side, hopefully. But I got a little bit of a low spot right there. I'd like to build it up a little bit more. So like I said, it's not perfect, but for what material we got, I mean, this stuff got a lot of grass in it because of bringing it up off the thing, but I mean, it is powder dry, and the gravel's all different size and dimensions and big and small. It makes it challenging to kind of get what you want. Also, I don't want to bring in too much grass into the roadway. I've already taken probably about, I don't know, 10, 12, maybe more buckets off. So you can see right here, a big hunk of grass right here, and sod in the drive. Just throw that off there in that culvert. So it's not ideal to have all the sod in the drive, but when you're doing such a major renovation like this, there's nothing you can do. Plus all the sod is in the center of the drive, so you got to contest with just the center of the drive already having sod in it. Plus you're bringing in all these edges, and you try to keep as much sod out of it as you can, but there's no way you can keep it all out. So, but it'll get buried under the new stone. You'll never even know it's there. Maybe in a few spots you can see, but trying to blend this hill, I think. Can't decide whether to cut that hill away off, make it a perfect blend. See, the water is going to run down this no matter what we do. I'm going to shoot it off the drive right there with another water bar right at the bottom of the hill there. It's going to go right off the opposite side. So no matter what we do, water's coming down this drive and this spot too. So I got options. Either one, I keep cutting down this drive and make it a flat channel to where the water wants to go down it flat, but then it's just going to get back in the wheel tracks, just go down the wheel tracks. Or keep it over here on the very edge and hope that it kind of stays over here for a long time against this edge. As before, I still don't know where the telephone line is, so it's kind of concerning. I don't really want to like hit it, so trying not to gouge too much of the sides off. Can, if I do, carefully. But yeah, as you see up here, looks, you couldn't tell that there's a bunch of holes through here. But this is all going to come up some, and I think just coming up in grade wise, it's going to help keep from those potholes coming back. But we may have to do all the 12 loads. I'm just smoothing this out because I want them to be able to have access to their drive overnight. So what I was going to say was that after these 12 loads come in, we may have to wait until it packs down a little while and then come back in and with a load or two and kind of touch up areas that we need more stone, stuff like that, because how bad this driveway is out of shape. And look, I got big stone out here. We'll put that back in the drive. But we got too carried away with cutting a bunch out because there's nowhere for the water to go. Even if the only thing you'd have to do is raise that gravel about a foot and then it would shed off. But the amount of money that would cost us an extraordinary amount. So I'm hoping once it gets to about here, we can build it up enough to where it sheds off right here into the wheat field. So it comes off that and then goes into this wheat field. So it kind of goes over here. Like right here is a good spot. So I may end up cutting this like a channel here down into the wheat field to force it over, because it can't really go into this ditch because this ditch gets higher and then basically it doesn't hold any water and keep it out of the drive. So minus redoing all the ditches down the all drive and reworking this whole entire driveway, and it cost a fortune, we are going to do what I call a fix. It's not a band-aid, it's just a fix. We're gonna fix it the best we possibly can with what we're working with, and we may just have to come back in with a few more loads here next spring, where as this new gravel settles, we find little low spots and stuff like that after the freeze and thaw cycle. Freeze and thaw cycle. So anyway, get some of this more of this grass out of here. I'm pretty happy with it, but after freeze and thaw, it may, you know, give in where the old potholes are. I packed them down the best I can, put over more material in them, a lot of them, but there's a limit to what you can do with gravel when it's this dry. If you guys can tell, dry as a bone. Gravel don't like to pack when it's dry, and especially with this, it's got plenty of dust in it, so the dust gets wet and then it settles it, and it just doesn't work as nice as you would hope. But with that 4 inches on top, I think it should spread the weight and pack down and basically create a layer on top of all that. So it shouldn't really matter what the base looks like. So anyway, I will catch you guys tomorrow when the trucks start rolling. All right, let's do an update. Sadly, the next following day to the original video, I had a bunch of other things. I was in and out as the trucks were dumping. Never really got footage. So I want to do a review for what happened. This is a few weeks later. We didn't add too much to the entranceway because it was already really high. We just wanted to touch it up, make it look nice. We added a bunch of stone here. This should shed both ways off the drive. And this really wasn't too bad. We just wanted to raise this area up. And we're going to come back here, at least the plan is, after winter, because of how much we did. Our plan is to come back and top dress the entire driveway with like 2-3 loads, just really thin, and clean it all up, grade it out, due to it being dry. And since we've did this driveway, I think we've had like 3 tenths of rain, so not enough to really know what is going to happen when we get heavy rains, or to help settle the gravel. As you see, we built this way up. I think originally, you guys, I want to say there's probably 8 inches of gravel right here. We come all the way down here. The water should be running about right here on this side of the drive. And then we built, what I decided to go with was a water bar on each hill. So I'll show you this water bar right here. You'll see it. Guess maybe I can give you a good perception. But right here, there's a big hump in the drive. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you kind of see there's a hump, and the water's going to shoot right off into the ditch. I would say that water bars are maybe used a lot less common. The logging community, like Logger Wade, I think he's commented about that in videos, and a lot of other people, I would say mostly loggers, would use water bars a lot. They use them in the woods and to help on their logging trails when they leave, help divert that water where they had to cut below grade. Kind of like this hill where you're below grade, all the water is going to naturally come on the hill. Well, if the water starts way up there, ends way down there, it's a long distance. The water can pick up speed, carry stuff. This is all crowned, so should have a really nice crown in it. There's 4 inches down in here. I think I mentioned that already, but I want to add. Some spots had a lot more, some had less, but this was 4 inches. We started down here on this center section. Got this all knocked down. Right up here is our other water bar. So we started way up there. Here's the culvert area. And then we got the next hill. Now this one we didn't build up as much with stone. So, but here's the other water bar. I cut this down right here. And now the water is gonna come, and there's a big hump right here. It's gonna come right down here, right down this ditch, across the hayfield down in there. And then up this way is the next hill. This is the one that you guys saw me pushing with the dozer towards us. So it would have been towards the camera right now. And we just kind of left this flat. It's gonna let that water run down there, hit, and go off like we just talked about. So this is just basically a flat drive, no slopes to it. Obviously the original hill. And then up here, I'm not gonna get all the way up to where their house is to show you, because they're home and I don't want to bother them. But I wanted to come down and see how the drive was looking. So right here is the curve. This all goes down and then slopes over. And then there's a crown from here all the way down their drive. Here, I'll walk down here to the corner so you guys can see around here. But right here, this is all, it's got a little bit of a crown right here, but then it lets it come over right up here, and then it goes back to crown. So I guess I wouldn't call it really too much, but right here it's gonna come back across and go out and off the drive. And here is the crown that we have in this. So this is built up a lot higher, I think. Put a bunch of stone here, built this up way high because it was about flat or level. And this is another culvert pipe, and that's a little teaser. I think those buildings right there getting tore down in a month, and there's going to be tile put in here too. So we'll be back for many more projects here. So that's a little teaser for future videos that will be happening. But the gravel that was put down on this driveway is called white crushed 53s with dust. They came out of a quarry in Richmond, Indiana. This stuff is really good. I like to use bigger gravel. A lot of people, they will use smaller stone, like a like a 57 stone. It's a lot smaller. People like the look, but every driveway that I do 53s. And the reason why is they don't sink. You don't get the loss of stone as fast. It seems like they stay in place. They resist the water more. You don't get so much erosion. So I think 53s are the way to go. But saying all that is, I will say that when you use smaller stone, it does sometimes look nicer than other stones. We really appreciate you guys watching. Stick with us. More projects to come. I think next time you're gonna see us dig in a basement, or maybe you'll see the new toy we got. So just stay subscribed. Please like the video, and see what's to come.